You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Pelicans into the Pelican post-game report on the Media Network. What's happening, family? Pelican post-game report is back. That's right, we back, family. Covering the Pelicans as the Pelicans are headed. They are in Bubble City. Of course, days goes, Coach Elvin Gentry was cleared to travel with the team to Orlando, Florida, and was called, quote, Bubble City, end quote. So the reality is the Pelicans are gearing up for an 8-game stretch that would ultimately, with successful outings, will lead to a playoff berth, and with many people will probably end up being a playoff between the Pelicans and Memphis. If Memphis can capture some of the magic that they had early in the season, can prove to be a very interesting matchup. But moving forward, the Pelicans, like I said, are in bubble, and a lot of stuff is going on. Of course, we have in today's show, as usual, Pelican key contributor. DC is chiming in the show. We'll bring him in momentarily, but we have several interviews we're going to start off on Pelican post-game report to get you up to snuff on what's going on. Here's Coach Elvin Gentry. He's chimed up first. We got interviews also from Zion Williamson, JJ Redditt, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and several Pelican players as we recycle and come back and restart the Pelican post-game report. So it's good to see basketball. The players are in what the NBA is trying to keep as a safe situation, and we move forward. Here's Coach Elvin Gentry chimed up on Sunday's preparation. They had a very good practice today. Let's hear what the coach had to say about it.
Andrew, I thought we had our best practice by far today. You know, the intensity level, the execution, just the conditioning part of it. I thought our guys did a good job. I thought they were really locked in from a focus standpoint, and just did a really, really good job today. We went hard today, and they did a good job both defensively and offensively. The defense was very aggressive and challenging, and I thought our offense did a good job of execution.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, Coach, Christian Clark with Nolan.com here. I think in those 19 games we saw what Zion was capable of offensively. What are you just hoping to see from him on the defensive end here moving forward?
Well, I think he's making improvements. I mean, obviously, for a young player, the defensive end is the greatest adjustment. And I think that he's feeling much more comfortable in what we're asking him to do. He's doing a good job of switching out on perimeter guys. It's still going to be a learning thing for him from a defensive standpoint, but I think he's made great strides in that area already.
Ollie, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, yesterday you talked about not wanting to use the word training camp at all and basically just resume from where you guys stopped. How are you able to do that considering the guys haven't played together for
Well, I think the message that we've got to deliver as a staff is that, okay, we've had a 4-month hiatus, but we're going to pick up where we left off because we thought we were trending in the right direction there from the standpoint of what we're doing offensively and defensively, as well as just winning games. And so rather than make this a new venture altogether from the standpoint, okay, now we're going to start from scratch, I think what we needed to do is start from where we left off. And that was, our defense was trending in the right direction. Offensively, I thought we were playing really good basketball. I thought Lonzo Ball was probably playing as well as any guard in the league during that stage. And then obviously Zion was feeling much more, he was getting much more acclimated to what we were trying to do and playing at a real high level. I think he and B.I. was learning how to exist out on the floor together. Drew was playing really good basketball. So what we wanted to do is not come back and say, okay, let's start all over. basically what the message we were trying to deliver is like, let's start where we left off, because we were doing exactly what we wanted to be doing, and that was playing our best basketball as the season was winding.
That's Coach Elvin Gentry, y'all, breaking down his thoughts on what's going on in the Pelicans' first practice. And Coach Gentry, of course, instilling to the young team that let's continue to win in ways. Well, the Pelicans are under 500 by a multitude of different games, but there was growth in the process of growing before the stoppage occurred. And, of course, the excitement about some of these guys, the break came, and it was a several-month hiatus, as Coach Gentry laid out. Also remember that with that hiatus, you had a lot of people that were kind of banged up that ultimately were able to get healthy. You had Zion Williams, who was able to work on his game, strengthen his body. He looks a lot more strong and brutal. Brandon Ingram also shaped himself pretty well. JJ Redick also lost a lot of weight, and a lot of players really worked on their games during the break. So a lot of people that was banged up or unhealthy were able to get healthy and are now moving forward inside of the season, looking to kind of improve and get better. So a lot of good information there from Coach Elvin Gentry. I'm going to play a little bit more of Coach Gentry's interview, a few more minutes of it, because there's a lot of good information. Here's some more.
This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
When you look back at, obviously we're going to be talking later today to two guys that have been key this season off the bench. When you look back at the turnaround that happened in season, how important do you think the bench was to that, and how key do you think it's going to be just under these circumstances that have the depth that you guys have?
Well, our bench has been key all along. It doesn't matter who we played off there. At some stage, our bench has been really a deciding factor in some games, or had the ability to get us in games where we had rough starts or slow starts. So we depend on our bench because we do have good depth there. And when guys have gotten hurt, our bench has been able to step in a guy as a starter and do a good job for that particular game, or a few games if we needed them. So you have to have depth, I think. I think depth's going to hurt the team. going to really help the teams down here that have good depth, because it is something that is brand new to really all the players. And this time of year and playing at this time of year is not something that they're really kind of accustomed to. So it'll be an adjustment, and I think the teams that have deep benches will benefit.
Coach Elvin Gentry explaining also in that segment of the interview the importance of having deep bench, and the Pelicans are very blessed to have a very unique squad, a very versatile squad. They can send out to you a multitude of different packages. It's just when they're healthy, they're ferocious, and I don't think too many teams want to see the Pelicans with a head full of steam. I'm bringing his analogy on what Coach Gentry said, and also his thought process on the reopening or the restarting of the NBA season. Of course, like I said, this is almost like a new Pelican post-game report, new season started. It's been a while since we did a show, but we did one, then came back. Now we back, and we're going to be doing them on a weekly basis once again. So DC, come on in. Welcome into the show, my friend. Please comment on what Gentry said, and also comment on some of the thought process around the NBA.
First off, I just want to say I'm happy to be off Pelicans quarantine. This feels really good. Get back in the swing of things.
Amen.
Coach Gentry talked about a lot, man. I like the mindset that he's approaching the team with as not starting over. We're just continuing what we already had going. I like that. And he expressed a lot about the bench, talked about how depth would be great. And we're probably one of the deepest teams in this bubble thing. I think this would be really amazing if everybody has either stayed at the level they were or increased, even our role players. You had guys like Nicolo Melli that was really starting to come on when the season ended, man. His impact was starting to become huge. He had some flashes earlier in the season, but Melli was like a borderline, 6th, 7th, 8th man. We got him, Josh Hart, and Etwan Moore was even starting to do some great things. But seeing these guys, man, Brandon Ingram looking like he put on some muscle, Zion, you see all the crazy stuff going on the internet with him, supposedly losing 25 pounds of fat and gaining 10 pounds of muscle or whatever. And Lonzo Ball on the internet with his bad weightlifting form. But he supposedly got stronger too. So it's a real exciting time to be a Pelicans fan right now, man. Everybody's saying the fix is in for us. I don't know how true that is, but we can definitely see that the NBA definitely wants us to be there. So maybe we won't get jacked up calls like we did against the Utah Jazz.
Well, we'll see. We got 8 games in the Utah Jazz kickoff whole series, so it'll be interesting to see how well Pelicans do. I know it's an excitement and a hunger. According to the several practices that occurred underneath Alvin Gentry, a couple of reporters from ESPN reported that the Pelicans practices are fast and hungry. So this team is, like I said, we got 8 games, and it's time to make some stuff happen now. Next chimed up here, we got J.J. Redick chimed up here. He had a pretty good practice day. We'll hear what J.J. Redick has to say about Pelicans in today's practice. Here's J.J. Redick.
Defense, specifically our half-court defense, I thought we locked into the teaching points today. Every day we've been a little bit better. A lot of it is just getting your mind and your body functioning on the same page and getting back into a rhythm.
Hey, JJ, Christian Clark with PELS.com. Coach just compared what Josh Hart was able to do this season as sort of a utility infielder for you in terms of his versatility. But when you guys turn things around a little bit, just what did you see from Josh out there?
Yeah, Josh has been so valuable to our team. We've asked him to do a lot, especially defensively, guarding multiple positions. He's one of, if not the best, wing rebounder that I've ever seen in my career. It's actually phenomenal the way that he just pursues basketballs. And obviously his shooting has been key for us too. And I know he's worked on that a ton and been more consistent with that. But he's a very valuable player. He's going to have a fantastic career. And I just feel like he just continues to get better. He works at his game. He continues to get better. He's about 10 feet away from me on the other side of the wall. So he hears everything I say.
JJ, how have you liked so far after the quarantine? And I've got to ask you, how much are you looking forward to that Bud Light little drink this afternoon?
Getting outside yesterday and playing some golf was key. Bubble life has been fine. I think John Morant. The hotel is fine. The food is fine. Everything's fine. We're here to play basketball, to further our mission. We have a responsibility and a job to do. It's fine. It's fine. And the Bud Light, yes. Didn't exactly expect that tweet to get 10,000 retweets, but NBA Twitter never fails. So, yeah, at about 5 o'clock, I'll post something. And I'll be sure to shotgun that Bud Light. Can't wait.
J.J. Redick, as he's chiming in on a multitude of different subjects and having a drink of beer. Well, how's that been so novel now? Ain't that crazy? When you get 10,000 tweets, but just talking about drinking a beer. Really? Is that what life is now? We're reaching our break now. When we come back, we'll play more. We have Zion Williamson, Josh Hart, JJ spoke about, who I love Josh Hart. I think he's the epitome of what a Pelican is. Tough player, plays a different position, love it. But anyway, when we come back, we'll play several interviews. We'll also give some more breakdown as the Pelicans are in the bubble, gearing up for the matchup against Utah. We'll cover more on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Stick with us. Remington Tax Solutions is a company that, together with their partners, provide virtual tax consultation and preparation for individuals, small business, and nonprofit. They also provide notary and a host of other business-related services for their clients. Their associates provide a systematic yet very client-centered approach to their services. They offer the industry knowledge and insight to help solve your most complex tax issues. At Remington, their currency is time, the one resource that cannot be replenished. For that reason, they utilize the simplest and most effective forms of technology to make their services faster and more efficient. No need to wait in the office until your taxes are completed. Simply upload your documents via the Taxes to Go app or via their client portal, and they'll take care of the rest. Remington Tax Solutions is a member of the National Association of Tax Professionals and participates in the IRS Annual Filing Season Program, which is a voluntary tax education program to stay abreast of the ongoing changes in tax legislation. Remington Tax Solutions has a strong connection to the communities in which they serve. It is a part of their mission to make a positive impact on the lives of their neighbors. So, if you're looking for a reliable, effective, and trustworthy tax preparation service, Remington Tax Solutions is the business for you. Contact Remington Tax Services at their number 682-307-4410 or simply go to remingtontax.com. That's remingtontax.com. Remington Tax Service, virtual tax preparation for the individual and small business.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAstore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network. Pelicans, several practices into the bubble life. JJ Reddick says the food's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Anyway, in this side of the Pelican postgame report, everything's fine here. We have Josh Hart. We have tuned up for you. Zion Williamson as well. There's several other players that'll be involved in this report. But before we get into the Josh Hart, we're going to talk about a few other things. Of course, the Pelicans did add Sindarius Thornwell, a player that was pretty popular in the SEC, known for his defense and three-point shooting. As in the Pelicans, not so much since he came into the NBA, averaging less than 3 points a game. The Pelicans picked Thornwell up about a week ago, and now we're moving forward into the bubble life to see exactly how that plays. But anyway, Josh Hart, among several other role players for the Pelicans, will be instrumental this year. as we know that Josh Hart is coming off the bench, filling in a multitude of different ways. His passion, his energy, everything that is added with Josh Hart is just terrific. Now we'll bring DC back here momentarily to chime in as well. But here's Josh Hart with his thought process on being his role in the rotation and also bubble life in NBA.
You to an infielder or utility infielder in baseball. I know you're into other sports like soccer and football. I don't know how much you're into baseball, but how would you compare your game?
Need to can play shortstop. Third baseman get hurt, I can play. I think that's kind of an accurate statement, but it's definitely an accurate statement. But I just try to help the team win, do whatever I can do. Play different positions, rebound, defend, score, just whatever team needs me to do at that point in time. I just want to do it and win.
Hey, Josh, the first 30 games of the season or so, it seemed like there were so many changes to the lineup and the rotation, and it was really completely out of everyone's control because it was based on people being injured and people, different things that were, out of the control. How important, one thing that Coach Gentry talked about today was that the roles became very defined in the last 30 games.
Jim, thanks for all your help today.
How important do you think that was in terms of the success that the bench had and how effective you guys were?
It makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, if you're Drew, B.I., JJ, Zion, B-Fave, Zoe, you're going to start, kind of more so for the most part what your role is going to be. For the bench, it was back and forth. K-Rich started some games. Melly started some games. Frank was in and out of the lineup. Josh, same thing. You can go down the list. So Jackson, so the last 30 games were been healthy for the most part. And we're able to just go out there and just know exactly what we got to do on a nightly basis. Takes the pressure off, takes, the stress of not knowing, sometimes, just the stress of not knowing if you're going to play or not play can kind of mess you up mentally. So being able to have that confidence of knowing your role and knowing how much time you're going to get and where to make your impact, it makes it so much easier.
Josh Hart with his role in the Pelicans rotation, and he definitely serves a great need for the Pelicans. His intensity off the bench, the fact that he could play, he rebounds unlike most guys at his position. The ball well, he attacks the ball. Love his high motor, his effort, just a total all-out effort player. Josh Hart, glad we have him here. Coming to you, DC, you heard what Josh Hart said, and JJ read it as well prior. Darius Thornwell was added to the mixture. Please elaborate and share your thoughts on so far the Pelicans practice and the addition of Thornwell in life in the bubble in general, dealing with, the impact of what it'll be like for some of these players. Of course, there's no fans that'll be allowed in the practice facility or when the games are started. So they'll be basically playing in a neutralized environment. What's your thought process on how you think these Pelicans will play?
First off, I'll talk about Josh Hart and JJ Redick. It's interesting. These guys both were playing golf together during all of this stuff going on. So it's obvious they may be fed off of one another or maybe learn different aspects of the game. Both are tremendous players. It's still funny that JJ Redick got 10,000 retweets for saying he was going to shotgun a bear alive. Like, really? But Josh Hart is probably one of the players that I think is underrated on our team. He does a lot, man. I mean, this dude basically played 3 positions for us. People don't realize that. He played shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. Excellent rebounder. He's actually a really good 3-point shooter as well. He's clutch. A guy always comes down the stretch. But he say he put on a little weight from drinking wine. I forget, what do you call those people that drink a lot of wine, Big Q? Forgot their name. He say he wanted them.
A guy drank a lot of wine is a wino, isn't it?
He a wino? Yeah, he a wino, dog. He put a refrigerator in his room to fit 15 bottles of wine. So we got to make sure Josh Hart don't go a little overboard, show up to the court woozy.
Well, let's not let Elvin Gentry take control of that. It might not end up.
And now Alvin Gentry seemed like more of a hard liquor type guy. He don't want nothing sweet. He got to be bitter and burn. But Sadarius Stonewall, I think this is just a little bit of a tip to hand. Maybe a guy like I think one of our transitional players might have had the coronavirus. I mean, there were three people, accordingly, a part of the Pelicans staff. I don't know if that includes players or in the front office, but 3 people had the coronavirus and they didn't release their names. So maybe what is it, JT Gray, I think guard we had. He's like a 2-way player, and we had him on the active roster from time to time as a backup. So maybe somebody like that might have had a coronavirus or something. I think that's why they picked this guy up. I mean, he's basically he's been a journeyman his whole career, and he's kind of known for his defense, so safe signing. If you have to use him, at least he can get out there and defend. I mean, we know the Pelicans are a team that don't have no problem scoring the ball, man. That defensive rating was getting out of control though, in our turnovers. So I think they kind of signed him as a little bit of an insurance policy just in case we need him. But I don't really think he's going to have a big impact. But everything I've been hearing about them practicing though has been pretty good. Them as well as a lot of other players around the league, they don't, obviously these guys aren't in game shape yet. So it's not really much I think you can gauge from their practices at this point, other than what they've been doing since they stepped away from the game. A lot of people put on weight, like I said earlier. JJ Redick lost weight, so that may be good for him. He had hamstring injury, so maybe he won't have that going on anymore with that 10 pounds less of weight on his hamstrings and his knees and stuff. So a lot of it pretty much a lot to be excited about, but there ain't nothing really to pick from their practices yet. I mean, they probably only had one scrimmage, maybe, and the rest of them I think would be walkthroughs. I heard them talking about working on their defense, which I'm glad to hear. I was a little worried when Jeff Bezadeli, I always mess his name up. Bezadelic wouldn't be showing up, man, because I think he was a big part of that defense starting to turn around once they got Eric Favors back.
But they still said that
he'll need work.
They still say Bezadelic will be contributing in a virtual capacity. So for all that's work. Right.
So I guess they're gonna have him up there and everybody talking to an iPad, right? They're gonna sit him on his regular chair. He just gonna be an iPad in the chair. Yeah. Watching the game on the sideline and everything.
And then when the players get tired of them, they just flip the iPad down into the chair.
When they start cussing them out and stuff, instead of walking off from them, they just flip the iPad down. Huh?
That's all. You can't do a damn thing about it. Anyway, we got Zion Williamson chiming up. We're gonna play some Zion. Then behind Zion, we're gonna hear Drew Holiday.
Everybody want to hear.
It's this the Zion. Here we go.
It feels good to be out here with my teammates. We're in a safe environment. And, it's good to be in one environment, with the whole team and the coaches. It was just good energy today.
Yeah, Zion, Coach mentioned that you were able to put some improvement with your shooting during the time away. Do you think there are going to be parts of your game that are going to look different now than what we saw from you the last time?
There'll be parts of my game that y'all didn't see before that y'all are going to see in the future. Once we start playing. It just felt like when I was 5 years old again. Just went back to square one. Trying to get my body to where it needs to be, get my fundamentals back to square one, and start from there. So yeah, it was just like we were 5 again, and it was a great process to learn it all over.
Two things. One, what was it like just to be with the entire team? I guess you can put a flight over here just because you guys hadn't been together. And then then second, how beneficial was it? I think that you had a coach with you the whole time, and your stepdad, that maybe base other players didn't have that luxury.
I think it was very convenient. That's just, and traveling with the team was great again. Brought back old memories, even though we had to have our little social distancing. But now that we finished our little in-room quarantine, it's good energy and everybody's back together.
You can see Zion Williamson in these interviews is visibly like hoping that they get over. I mean, he's like hoping that these damn interviews get over. And he really wants to get back to playing ball. I tell you what, man. And I don't know if I could take it either. People ask the questions and stuff like that. But he's handling it.
Man.
Yeah, but he's handling it well. And they're asking the questions, DC. And the reporters only doing their jobs, bro. Right? They got a hard job just like the NFL referees, right?
Got to come up with content, man. There ain't really much to talk about.
Well, anyway, that was Zion Williamson chiming in, man, giving his thought process on everything. And the Pelicans practices are off the road. And like DC said, you can only take so much out of it. Now, here we go. Here's Drew Holiday's thought process as well as the Pelicans get back to work. Here's Drew.
Yeah, what's going on?
Having some weird issues with my computer. I had a question about Nico Belly. He improved so much in the last couple months of the season. He played so well for the rest of the shooters in the league in January when the season halted. How much of it do you think was just the confidence that he had? You guys telling him to just keep firing and keep shooting as a team?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of that, but just getting into a rhythm. Probably coming from EuroLeague where he played and it being a different type of game. Coming here and some of those open shots that he would get out there, they're different here. So the shots that he gets, and even if guys are closing out on him pretty fast, we want him to take those shots because he's that good of a shooter. And I feel like once he kind of got that rhythm down and knew that mentally, he started excelling like we knew we could. Right. It was good. It was cool. I feel like this is what you missed, being out and away and quarantining. For me, I love my family and I love seeing them, but to come back into the locker room or just to come back and see the guys and kind of hang out and do all that is something that you miss about the game.
That's Drew Holiday chiming in with his thoughts on being back with the teammates and whatnot. Very interesting, man, because you can listen to some of these players. They're very optimistic moving forward, and these are very unique situations for them to be in. It's basically they're in a term, they've all been cluttered and put into a certain position, and they've constantly have these bands on their arm to stop them from being within a certain each other. Of course, the food's there, and they do have a certain ability to move out and, certain limited freedoms to be able to move about and around. But the NBA is not taking any chances with everything that's going out in the world as well. So listen to Drew Holiday, listening to these guys is interesting, DC. Isn't it kind of just interesting to see just what all this, what professional football sports will look like moving into the later portions of this year when they're anticipating spikes and the C-19. What do you think about this unique bubble situation and everything, playing sports under the pandemic?
I think it's a little bit of overkill for these guys. I think removing the fans would have been enough and just kind of limiting outside contact. But, hey, I'm not in there planning all of this, but that's just my perspective. I think it's definitely going to be weird. This season will be looked back like the Houston Rockets season when they won the championship, and it was I think that was a lockout year. It's almost one of them years with like an asterisk by it, man. Just a real weird set of circumstances. And these guys, it's almost kind of like I feel bad for them in a way because whatever they normally do to be able to handle their job, because this is their job, they can't do that. Like, of course, they have nice hotels and they got good food, but man, nothing don't beat being at home with your family or whatever they like to do. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is taken away. I think it's a little unfair. And they're being overly precautious. But of course, somebody's probably still going to turn up with the COVID thing. I don't know what they're going to do at that point. Will the season continue, or will they eliminate a team based on a player having it and everybody being in contact with them? They all got to be quarantined. How would that work? So it's a lot of question marks, things up in the air. You can hear the players, to me, listening to a lot of these interviews, other than two of our more charismatic people on the team, Josh Hart and JJ Redick, Drew Holiday and Zion, they both sound very melancholy. Like, I just want to play basketball. And I'm sure when we put Slender Man up there, B.I., I'm sure his will be fairly similar. Like, these guys are ballers, man. They just want to play ball without all these restrictions. I mean, they're going out there, they're going to be sweating on each other, coming into contact with each other, even more so than football. So it's like, I'm sure they all feel that the quarantine is a little bit of a overkill.
Said they're not the ones that make those rules, and if you got to play, you got to play by the rules.
Yeah, most definitely.
Here's our final interview, Pelican Post Game Report episode. Here's Lonzo Ball chiming in with his thoughts.
We ain't gonna hit Bi.
Perhaps we'll see if we can dig him up. But here's Lonzo.
Hello. All right, everybody. Fletcher, you can go ahead and lead us off with Lonzo.
Okay, Lonzo, I think Brandon Ingram just surprised a few of us when he was asked, does he think the NBA is going to be able to pull off this experiment? He actually said no. Where do you fall on the whole bubble environment, starting, leaving this week, and the NBA finishing the season successfully?
I think it's going to be a day-by-day thing. Obviously, nothing's going to be perfect. This is something that's never been done before. There's still a lot of question marks, but I think it's going to be day by day. As much as we try to apply to the rules, I think that's going to help, get us through the season. But I can't really tell you whether it's going to work or not. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just happy to see my teammates and at least go out there, as a team trying to, win for the organization.
Thank you.
Hey, Lonzo, it's Dan Wekey with the LA Times. Sorry for my camera. I'm curious, kind of, what's your approach for the quarantine period of this? How much time have you spent about thinking about what you're going to do for maybe 3 days stuck in a hotel room? How are you going to kind of pass the time?
Really just stretch, watch Netflix. I mean, nothing you really can do. Try to get my series in, whatever that is, and keep you updated on that.
Ain't too much to mention with Lonzo, man. That's stretching in it. It's just like the reporters try to get blood out of a turnip. I mean, it's just
stupid questions. Like, so what are you gonna do for your quarantine for 3 days when you're forced to be in a bubble and not do the stuff you normally do? What are you gonna do now?
Try to avoid reporting.
Shit, I don't know. Like, exactly. Y'all took away all the stuff that I normally do. I gotta figure this out.
I'll let you know when I feel like talking to you.
Right. I'm gonna sneak a girl in. That's what I'm gonna do. I can't say that.
I know you're not supposed to do that.
A man's got need. That's just silly questions, man. And I can't say I blame. I wouldn't want to answer that either. Like, somebody, so what are you gonna do when you're forced to quarantine for 3 days?
Netflix and chill.
Watch a little TV. Yeah, he said Netflix and chill, so he kind of telling you
you're
gonna sneak a girl in. You can't Netflix and chill without a chick.
Boy, I tell y'all, Pelicans, man, young, hungry team. We got our veterans. You heard Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday always sounds like that. So whether it's a pandemic or regular life, Drew Holiday is the same, no matter how you.
Yeah, he sounded the same on the Morris Bar commercial. He did a Morris Bar commercial. I thought I was gonna see something over the top. It was the same Drew Holiday. He was dribbling the basketball in the office. That was the most outrageous thing he did. The whole commercial.
Drew, get that ball out. Didn't he at least have a suit on when he was dribbling? He had a full jersey?
He had his jersey on and everything, man. Like, he was about to go to the game. He had to stop by and holler at Morris Bar first.
But anyway, people, that's Pelican talk. There's several interviews that we had. We ain't find any quite recent on Ingram right now, but I'm pretty sure we'll have something on BI later on in the week as Pelican practice continues to persist. Remember, this July is coming in.
Getting close to them scrimmage games.
Very close. We're going to get the scrimmaging games. And then, of course, the rest of the regular season, the last 8 games leading into the playoffs. The Saints will get underway as well. So late July is going to be a busy time of the year for New Orleans fans.
Very, very interesting.
So that'll do it for this episode of the Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. I'd like to thank DC, who's our key Pelican contributor, for sharing his insight. Also, like to thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Button and share this content on all of your social media. I don't care what it is. Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't care what you do. LinkedIn. Share the link. You have the show's permission to share the hell out the link. Anyway, thank y'all for joining. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confessions. A selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence and the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture. And like with Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.